We were told that Dr. Mane Boama wanted health. We know that he had prepared himself for it. We know that he had gone abroad to study after he left government as Minister for Communication, and then he came back with his experience, expertise, well developed in public health. It was widely speculated that he wanted health. It was said that he wanted health. People close to him told journalists that he wanted health. However, health is now gone to Mr. Kwabena Akando. He is a member of parliament from a constituency in the Western North district. Western North, that's where he's a member of parliament of. Okay, so what is the gossip about the health? Bring me the health gossip photographs. The issue now is the ministerial list now having been finished. Dr. Grace Ayensu's name is not in there. Grace Ayensu's name is not in there. Dr. Titus Beyou's name is not in there. All of them competent and qualified to be ministers of health. Dr. Zanetor Rollins' name is not in there. So if President Mahama wants to do one deputy for health, I'm guessing that he might do 2 deputies for health. Well, he has 60 to go. I think he has 32 now. So he has 12 or something left. And then the regional ministers are 16, isn't it? So all of these, one of these 3 will be deputy minister for health. Maybe 2 of them will be deputy ministers of health. If it's 2, 1 will fall out. If it's 1, 2 will fall out. Our job is to speculate in the analysis that we're doing over the next 2 minutes who is going to be in there and who may not be in there. It all begins and ends with influence. So all of them are members of parliament. The most senior member of parliament is Dr. Zanetor Rawlings. We had heard that in terms of awarding ministerial positions, seniority would matter, isn't it? Now, Dr. Rawlings is the most senior member of parliament amongst these 2 others. Dr. Titus Beyou has been doing health politics for a while, and so he really understands the ins and outs of Ghana Health Service, Ministry of Health, doctors, senior doctors, consultants, junior doctors, nurses. He's been in that space for a while, so he clearly understands that. That is an important asset that any government will need if you are appointing somebody to be Deputy Minister of Health. It's an asset you will need, it's an experience you will need, it's contacts you will need. Beyou seems to have that. Dr. Grace Ayensu has an exposure of working in American hospitals and all of that. She's transferred that exposure to Ghana. She's come to work with a group of people and did a good job in a hospital in Accra. She's kept that job and kept an eye on Esikado since 2020. Eventually, she's been elected by Esikado as the Member of Parliament. She has quite a bit of exposure. Now, the big battle here is not about what you bring or what you don't bring. It's about who is your godfather, who is influencing you. So let's go and look at that now on the touch screen and come. Okay, so Grace Ayensu's godfather is the almighty Totobi Kwache, the big ministry of national, the big brain of national security. Uncle Totobi Kwache is Grace Ayensu's godfather. So if Grace Ayensu is going to get the ministry of Deputy Minister of Health position, the influential points will be through the brain, power, influence, authority, and the relationship of KTQ, as we call him on the phone when we are texting those days. You know, it's KTQ in his office, and that's what we used to do. We are sorry, please don't tell him. As KTQ, the influence is going to bring on the center is what is going to give Grace Ayensu the job, if at all. But who is President Mahama's godfather in politics? It appears... Anyway, I'll leave it there. So, Grace Ayensu's godfather is KTQ. All right. Titus Beyou's godfather would be Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the chairman of the NDC, but who is also the potential next presidential candidate of the party. That's very beautiful, isn't it? Johnson Asiedu Nketia is the current chairman of the NDC, but he is also the potential next presidential candidate or the potential next sole presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, chairman of the party, is also the potential sole next presidential candidate of the NDC. Now, Johnson Asiedu Nketia has been winning quite a bit in terms of the ministerial appointment. Those of you who are following the gossip like I am, you hear the gossip, you hear who are his candidates, and then you see that it's happening. So he's been winning significantly, isn't it? His person is Dr. Beyou. Joseph Ayensu is going to make the argument to the center that, look, this guy has been in that space for a long time. He's a member of parliament. Even if we don't make him deputy minister, we might need him in parliament. He has to chair the committee or something. If we think we need his exposure, his experience, and his contact in the, if you like, health politics, you probably have to make him a deputy minister. That's the point he's going to make. So that may hold. I don't know what will happen. Dr. Rollins has her influence in J.J. Rollins, who may not be around, and may he rest in peace. But he has significant influence. I mean, the JJ influence over NDC, it doesn't feel like he's not around. I mean, when you're having a conversation in an NDC meeting, it feels like he's standing there. So JJ's influence is palpable, is tangible. Okay. Now, John Mahama is going to think about, if I don't say anything about Zanetor Rawlings, how would Rawlings feel about that? It might cross his mind. How would Rawlings feel about that? If I do it, how would Rawlings feel about that? So that's going to be a bit of influence on him. If you're looking at the number of times he's been in parliament for 2 terms in opposition. And typically, most of those particular MPs are usually rewarded with appointments. Those MPs who came to the parliament, first time the government lost the election. Then the second time the government lost the election. The third time the government had won an election. If you think about that, it sounds like it's unfair if people like Zanetor Rollins don't get into their positions. So this Deputy Minister of Health, if you know John Mahama, please tell him that we are saying that President Dr. Rollins has been a member of parliament 2 terms in opposition. She's won a significant seat also. She took it when NDC already had it, and she's held it. She's not lost it. And this is her 3rd term. Please, Mr. Mahama, consider the old man. Consider the old man and do something. Okay.